Today, lawmakers took another shot at prohibiting the use of non-disclosure agreements when negotiating new laws. It's a proposal that is directly related to our reporting on the use of NDAs at the Capitol.
Were you a signee of an NDA in this?
I would prefer not to comment.
This is a renewed effort to ban these secretive agreements in the state's lawmaking process. Of course, these are laws everyone is expected to follow, but in some cases, lawmakers will not explain them. Good evening, I'm Edie Lambert.
And I'm Ty Steele. This proposal is the direct result of our reporting on California's controversial fast food minimum wage law and the NDAs used to keep those negotiations secret. KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala explains the effort.
A Republican state lawmaker is taking another crack at trying to ban the use of non-disclosure agreements in the state's lawmaking process. The first version of this proposal died with business groups divided. The lawmaker introducing this today says he hopes this version brings them together.
We're accountable to the public, and to say, hey, public, you have no right to know what we're doing on your behalf is crazy.
Assemblyman Joe Patterson pushing a renewed proposal to prohibit discussions on state laws and regulations from being under secretive, legally binding confidentiality agreements. On Wednesday, he introduced legislation that specifically prohibits state elected officials, their staff, and lobbyists from requesting them or signing them in the drafting, negotiating, or discussion of proposed state laws. In response to business groups that were divided over the last version, the bill makes an exception for NDAs that solely try to protect trade secrets and other private business information.
It's a broader discussion that we need to have, whether public officials should be ever signing NDAs and intentionally keeping the public out.
The bill is the result of our reporting on California's controversial fast food labor law that raised minimum wages to $20 an hour. It was ultimately negotiated under NDAs. Multiple sources have told KCRA 3 that with the influence of a major Panera Bread franchisee and donor, the governor's office pushed for an exemption for chains that sell and bake their own bread. We've been asking questions for months. First to the governor. Carving out essentially Panera and Boudin. I wonder, why in the agreement did you all decide that those workers should not be within the umbrella of this?
That's part of the sausage making.
Then to the SEIU, the powerful labor group that required the NDAs in that sausage making.
Were you a signee of an NDA in this?
I would prefer not to comment.
Also to the lawmaker who carried the fast food law through the Capitol. Were you part of the negotiation to include that exemption?
I was not.
You weren't, but it was your bill. So how are you not included in the negotiation?
In terms of, it's my bill, but in terms of the negotiations, it was bringing together the business community and the franchisees.
But franchisees beg to differ.
There were no franchisees and no employers that were actually involved in those conversations.
So when you asked, how is this happening, they basically told you, we can't really say because we use non-disclosure agreements.
I was specifically told that a non-disclosure agreement was in place and that we weren't allowed to know about it.
When the first bill to ban NDAs died in the Assembly Elections Committee, its Democratic leader refused to answer questions. I just want to be clear. So you are okay with the use of non-disclosure agreements being used in the public policy making process here at the state capitol?
We will be preparing a statement.
McGeorge School of Law professor Chris McHaley noted California lawmakers have a history of limiting the use of NDAs outside of government when it comes to harassment, discrimination, and other cases. He says this new bill tries to take a similar approach.
So the legislature has turned the tide really to say we want open transparency in litigation. And so this bill attempts to take that precedent and apply it to legislative discussions as well.
Now, this proposal would update the state's Political Reform Act of 1974, meaning it would need a 2/3 vote from the legislature. The proposal is waiting for a hearing in the state Senate. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA 3 News.
And Ashley Zavala has had many public and private discussions with staff and current and former elected officials. Many say they had never heard of the use of NDAs until Ashley's reporting. But former Democratic State Senator Bob Hertzberg says he had heard of them before. Meanwhile, Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas and Senate Pro Tem Mike McGuire would not comment on the proposal.